Okay, you see this? Fredericton top cop asked tough question. Now this should be good. I don't know what kind of question the Irving media is going to ask. Let me put this up here for 1 second. There you go. Okay, a tripod is much better. So here we are. The Irving media is going to be asking Leanne Fitch some tough question. I never read the questions. I could just imagine the question. How's your health? What do you see? How are you going to handle the motorcycle gangs, the drug issue? But they're not going to ask a question that's going to talk about the cop, like Danielle Carmichael, that was charged and for uttering 2 death threats to the girlfriend of her ex and causing a private company damage, causing damage on private property. So, and the cops, of course, they came after me November 8th from 14 months ago. But nobody, the Irving media never even did a follow-up on this. So the Irving media is like Pravda in Russia. They praise their local police force. But let's see what kind, I'm talking too much here. Let's see what kind of question. It's Don McPherson. He's the reporter that goes to court. Oh my God, I don't know how he does his job. But anyway, here we go. Guilty of break and enter, impaired driving, guilty of assault. What time this starts? And uttering threats. Maybe they are talking about Danielle Carmichael. Those changed in 2 cases conviction involving members of the Fredericton police force in 2017. Oh yeah, I must talk about Campbell. In addition, the dismissal of 1 officer was upheld, and another fate will be decided in the courts next year. Recently, the Daily Gleaner asked Fredericton Police Force, Leanne Fitch. Ask Fredericton Police Force, Leanne Fitch. What kind of English is that? Recently, the Daily Gleaner asked Fredericton Police Force, Leanne Fitch, whatever, about the department tribunal 12 months. And you know what? It's going to get worse in 2018 because I'm not done. An outgoing misconduct issue scheduled to go to court in 2018. While I recognize that there's a desire by the Gleaner to look back on 2017 through a negative lens, my preference at this point in the year is to reflect on the great work that has been done by our police officers and our civilian staff. Fitch responded in an email. Our accomplishment has been many. She must have been drinking wine when she was replying on via email. Our accomplishment has been many, and at Christmas time, it is time to celebrate good news. Yeah, that's where people get depressed and they phone Chino, and then the police break down your door and arrest you. And then, never mind, Charles, stay focused. It is recognizing the dedication of so many that work so hard to keep our city safe and engage our community, that uplift and spirit of our staff here. What kind of bullshit goddamn rah is there? I don't know if I can continue reading this. The Daily Gleaner, who asks whether misconduct issues are affecting public trust in the force and morale among the rank and file. We as an organization choose not to dwell on the negative. How come they're coming after me? But to move forward with courage and professionalism. Cops, professional? Fredericton police? Can I continue reading this? Maybe I should take about 50 Ritalin. Focus, Charles. St. Mary's University criminology professor Ashley Craver, never heard of her, said the sheer numbers of conduct problems in the police force, the size of Fredericton, can't be ignored, and point to a larger issue. It does seem like a lot, he said. There might be a culture problem with the police force. Yeah, they're idiots. coming after me, saying, oh, Charles LeBlanc, he's a pedophile. He exploits children for sex. Charlie, stay focused. Treating each case of misconduct individually isn't advisable, Caver said, given frequency with which is popping up in Fredericton. It's going to be worse. There seem to be too many cases. It's just take it case by case, he said. Is there a he? What's the nature of that problem might be? Leadership? Past hiring practices? Yes. Low morale? Trauma among officers? Is unknowable at this point. Other experts, however, disagree. That must be Fitch. Edgar McLeod. Where did I hear that name before? Director, Atlantic Police Academy, Prince Edward Island. I'm having a hard time to talk tonight. I know it's hard to focus on this and not just stutter. 6 minutes, way too long. Said he couldn't comment on the specific of what's happening at the Fredericton Police Force, as he isn't familiar with the circumstances of various cases. Go to Google, write Charles LeBlanc and Fredericton Police. Is all there. In general, he said, it's not likely that there's a misconduct problem with the force. Instead, he said it's a manifestation of a change in policy, priorities, and attitude that place. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Back in the old days, you might not have heard so much about that. Of course not, but you got social media now. Who's been at the Hammond Academy for 10 years, after 2 decades stint as chief of a Cape Breton Regional Police Service. A string of criminal charges and misconduct process actually show the system is working. Yeah, right. Of course it's working. The cops, they don't have to pay for their own lawyer. The union pays for it. It is critically important to have public accountability of a police service, which they don't have here in Fredericton. Who wastes their time chasing after Indians that's running a bicycle on the sidewalk with no helmet? Idiots! People being shot dead? Oh no, that's not important. Got to chase after the less fortunate. It can have a tendency. By the way, I haven't had a drink. I'm sober as a kite. Maybe I should have had maybe 2 shots before reading this bullshit. It can have tendency to chip away at public confidence. Of course, the public needs to be informed of these things. Caver agreed that the public accountability must assign officers in a positive development, and shows policing culture in the capital is moving in a progressive direction. Nah, never. It's going backward because we have idiots. I think 20 years ago, things like the world would have been swept. Things like this would have been swept under the rug, of course, because we had local cops. We didn't have des Québécois like Fred Oiseau. That's the problem there. Report on misconduct officers accused of crime can affect morale among the members of the Fredericton Police Force. It's incumbent of the leadership and the union to work to address it. These public things about crime misconduct officers has to be hard and clean officers because they're seeing their friends endure difficult circumstances and because how it affects public perception of police. They are plated by action at the lowest common denomination. Any comments? One comment. Hats off to Chief Fitch for helping to change the... Jesus, this must be a cop. It's leaving comments. Anyway. The problem is simple, but they won't acknowledge it. Listen, I got friends that's in the police force that I talk to all the time. Now, the problem is you have one asshole, like Fred Oiseau, or the rest, River Rat, Matt Myers. But anyway, those assholes do something stupid like coming after moi. And they're wrong. I mean, why did they label me as a pedophile? Why did River Rat Matt Myers wanted to charge me with first-degree assault when that idiotic poet came after me? See, so what happens? The good has to support the bad because they support the establishment. So we're going to go after my anniversary, 6 years they raid my place. It's not over yet. The lawsuit, that's not over yet. For them to charge me with assault, that's not over yet. And there's other issues that's not over yet. So we're going to go after the minister, Dini Laundry, and we're going to go after other ministers and the premier and everybody. We're going to talk about the Fredericton police force. So bullshit things like this. Hey, but for once, the Irvings, yes. Don't be first and ask some good questions. Stay tuned.